is going on, Locks Mob, and welcome back to the Locks DFS NHL Breakdown. I'm your host, Narang, and I'll be breaking down this 11-game main slate on DraftKings and FanDuel for Thursday, February 21st. Before I get into all that, though, make sure you guys like and comment on this video so you get entered into our weekly giveaway to win a free season pass of your choice. As always, you guys know that we run the same giveaway every week. All you got to do is leave a like, leave a comment, and we go through our videos and we pick a winner to get a free season pass of their choice. So make sure you're doing that. And just to talk about yesterday's slate, it went well. Hopefully it really went well for our members and our subscribers as well. We talked a lot about Detroit and how good of a spot they were in versus Chicago, how many high danger chances Chicago is giving up, how much that Larkin, Anthony Mantha stack really fit on yesterday's slate. And we were overweight on the field on those guys, and they smashed. So hopefully members had a good night, and we can keep it going tonight. So with that being said, since it is an 11-game slate, I'll just talk about a few of my favorite plays at each position, at each price point, sort of my general thoughts on the slate, and then we'll wrap it up. So starting at center, if we break it down from the high price guys, my actual favorite option here is these Toronto guys, Austin Matthews and John Tavares. And for me on DraftKings, it's going to be John Tavares at 6.8K. Beyond it just being a misprice, he's in an elite spot versus a Washington team that we've been picking on for the past couple weeks to months now. They're bottom 3 in expected goals against per 60, bottom 3 in high danger chances allowed per 60. Just a real bad team at both 5v5 and on the penalty kill. And if we filter the Toronto forwards by iCourse4 per 60, we see that Austin Matthews leads them at 19.82. Which is awesome. It's a stellar amount. But John Tavares not that far behind at 18.36. And then if we keep going, if you look to the right a bit at high danger chances 4 per 60, we see John Tavares averages almost 8 high danger chances 4 per 60, individual high danger chances 4 per 60, which is an absolutely elite mark. It's almost it's over 2 high danger chances more than Austin Matthews averages a game, and he's one of the more dangerous players in the entire league. So I love Tavares, and I love the price on him as well on DraftKings. Coming down a bit, I like the spot for these Minnesota centers versus a Rangers team that since February 1st has allowed 16.39 high danger chances against per 60, leads the league, leads the worst team and what I perceive as the worst defensive team in hockey, the Blackhawks. Blows them out of the water by over 1 high danger chance per game, which is crazy. So definitely want exposure to this Minnesota team. Minnesota's been a team that's been frustrating this whole year, a team that's just underperformed. But they are in a great spot versus the Rangers. And in addition, the Rangers going through some trade talks. Matt Zuccarello, Kevin Hayes, all in contention to not suit up for tonight. The Rangers called up a few guys so that they'll still have 11 forwards, 7 defensemen, even if Hayes and Zuccarello don't suit up. So if they're missing 2 of their key pieces on the Rangers one, then I want definite exposure to both of these Minnesota lines, Mikael Granlund and Eric Staal. Both of them have iCourse4s per 60 above 14. They shoot the puck a lot. They're in great roles. They correlate on the power play, and they're cheap on DraftKings. So look towards them for some value centers. Moving on to winger. One thing I do want to mention, I rarely will talk about why I'm not talking about guys, but I've gotten a ton of DMs about why I don't talk much about Tampa the past couple days. And there's no specific reason. Just for me, Tampa doesn't profile as an elite offensive team. And in this specific matchup versus Buffalo, Buffalo's been a decent team, high danger chances against per 60 if you look via Feb 1st. And this would be a natural stat trick. They've been the 5th best team, high danger chances against per 60, while if we look at Tampa Bay, high danger chances 4 per 60 since Feb 1st, they're 5th from the bottom. They've generated next to nothing, less than 10 high danger chances per game. And the fact of the matter is those Tampa players are so talented, Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov, Steven Stamkos, that they could certainly get there. But as you saw versus Columbus when they smashed, they only had 20 shots on goal. They scored 5 goals. The next game, I believe they had 3 goals on their first 9 shots. So they're amazing players, but they just don't profile as an elite offensive team as opposed to some of these other teams like Toronto, San Jose, guys like that. So just to get that out of the way, but a winger I really like, Mitch Marner at 6.3K. I think he's an awesome play. He pairs with Tavares on this first line. He's in the top in the top 5 on Toronto and iCourse 4 per 60. Correlates on the first team power play with John Tavares as well, and the rest of these. I mean, this is an elite power play. And the rest of these guys, and he's just incredibly cheap on DraftKings at 6.3. He's almost a lock for me over there. Scrolling down a bit, a piece of injury news I want to report on is that Braden Shen will be missing this game for St. Louis 1. St. Louis 1 with Braden Shen has been one of the most dominant lines in hockey over the past 11 games. Obviously, St. Louis is 11-0, longest win streak in their franchise history. But with Brady Shen out, Jaden Schwartz gets the bump to the first line, and Robert Thomas gets the bump to the second line. Robert Thomas on the first team power play makes for a solid value play at wing, but Jaden Schwartz is the main guy I want to talk about because this Schwartz, O'Reilly, Tarasenko line was a line that was together in the past. It used to be Braden Shen in the middle instead of O'Reilly as well. But Schwartz and Tarasenko have skated together a lot in the past. And that was a couple years ago, and that's when Schwartz was a point-per-game player, priced in the mid-6s to low 7s on DraftKings. And right now you're getting him at a steal of a price at 4.7K. Even if you just compare him to Braden Shen, which is the role he's inheriting, Braden Shen's 5.3K. And he's not as fantasy-friendly of a player as Jaden Schwartz. So Jaden Schwartz, at least you know you're getting a $600 discount on where he should be priced. So I like him there. And then the last guy I want to mention is just another Minnesota player, Pontus Aberg here at 4K. Just going through the lines this morning for Minnesota, I saw that they promoted Pontus Aberg to the second line with Mikael Granlund and Zach Parise, which is just a really, really good spot for him. If we filter Minnesota by iCourse 4 per 60 as well, we'll see that Pontus Aberg is actually third, but second because Matt Dumba's out. Third in iCourse 4 per 60 at a hair under 16. And that's no surprise because Pontus Aberg has been a guy even on Anaheim that anytime he got called up, we wanted to target him because he's just a fantasy-friendly option, and he always comes at a fairly cheap price point. So I like him on that second line, and he gets some second-unit power play time, again, versus a Rangers team that's just bleeding high-danger chances against. So that'll do it for winger. Moving on to defense, as far as the high-price options go, I'm going to go back to old familiar Brent Burns. Even with Erik Karlsson in the lineup, I love this spot for both San Jose defensemen. It's just more of a matchup sort of thing. Pittsburgh, bottom 10 in the league, expected goals against per 60. San Jose, second in the league in expected goals for per 60. Pittsburgh, bottom 10 in the league in high-danger chances against per 60. San Jose in the top 10 in the league in high-danger chances for per 60. And on top of that, we have reverse line movement coming in San Jose's favor. Just standard line movement, but it's fairly strong. So we got 53% of bets on San Jose. They opened at plus 108, and they've since moved to minus 105. And again, it's still fairly early, so I anticipate that we'll see that continue to move. And we're looking at an awesome for fantasy 7 over-under in this game. So there's a lot of pieces in this Pittsburgh San Jose game that you can target, and since it does have an over-under of 7, a game stack for tournaments is certainly warranted. And then scrolling down a bit, the value option I wanted to talk about at defense is Troy Stecher. So they still haven't upped his price on either side. He's sitting at 3K on DraftKings. But Troy Stecher, a guy that's been skating monster minutes since Alexander Edler's been out. He's essentially been skating Alexander Edler minutes and then some. He's getting almost 30 minutes a match, 29, 31.6, 28.1. And he reached his floor, what I would consider his floor to be about 2 points. And at 3K, having a 2-point floor is unheard of. And he's reached that in the past 3 games into getting this minutes. He correlates on the first unit power play. With a Vancouver team that's actually 11th in the league in high danger chances for since Feb 1st. So they are generating a fair share of chances. And then Arizona on the other side is bottom 5 in the league in high danger chances against since Feb 1st, coming in at 13.22 high danger chances against per 60. So a good spot for this Vancouver team, and especially for Troy Stecher, who at this point just shouldn't be this cheap, especially with the minutes he's getting. Moving on to goalie, not going to spend much time talking about him. As always, just look at your team and then correlate your team with your goalie so that if your team does well, ideally your goalie gets the win. And as always, I should mention Carolina shoots the puck the most in the league. So the Florida goalie in this case, whoever's going against Carolina, is always in play. So with that all being said, I do want to give away a free prize pick in this video before I wrap it up. And that is going to be down here. It's actually going to be two of them. One guy talked about Erik Karlsson and the other guy Morgan Rielly. Two defensemen, both on prize picks listed at 4.1. I like the over on both these guys. I've already talked about Toronto a fair share, but Morgan Rielly, essentially the power play quarterback for that Toronto team. Skates 23 minutes a night, averages 4.1 fantasy points, and now he's stepping into, as we talked about, awesome matchup versus Washington. Defenseman versus Washington is sort of in our flow chart, so we like to play that. And then Erik Karlsson averaging 4.2, that's more than we need from him. And in just an awesome spot versus a Pittsburgh team. It's all, high danger chances again, high danger chances for. I've already talked about both these guys, so I really like the overs on both these guys at prize picks. And Taylor, who's sitting right behind me, I heard him in his NBA video mention Marcus Morris. He likes the over on him. So you can pair these together and make sure you deposit with promo code LOCKS or use the first link in the bio. You will get a free 50% bonus match up to $1,000. So if you deposit $1,000, you will get $500 in promo money and a free 2-pick entry to win $25. So make sure you use promo code LOCKS to deposit on prize picks. Use our free picks and come win with us. So with that being said, thank you guys for checking out this video. I hope you win a ton of money tonight, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.